Module 2, Lesson 1, Dimensions of Communication. At the end of the two lessons under Module 2, you are highly expected to be able to explain and demonstrate sensitivity to the socio-cultural dimension of communication with focus on gender and culture. If you'd like to assess the level of learning you have acquired in Module 2, try to go back to this objective, and in case you failed to meet it, let me know so I can explain it to you further. It was previously noted that communication occurs between two people, among a group of people, or between a speaker and a group of listeners. Yet, we see situations such as someone crying, quarreling, or feeling hurt because of a misunderstanding with a friend, a parent, or a stranger. So, what do you think the quarrel was about? How did it end? Communication breakdown or miscommunication can lead to a total cessation of interaction. We see people stop talking to each other, sometimes until the end of their lives. Leaders of some countries that do not have friendly relations or have stopped talking to each other sometimes end up going to war against each other. Miscommunication is brought about by the lack of awareness of the dimensions of communication, especially those influenced by culture and gender. Communication runs along four pairs of dimensions. First, verbal and nonverbal. Second, oral and written. Third, formal and informal. And fourth, intentional and unintentional. Verbal and nonverbal dimensions. These encompass the use of language, the words chosen and the facial expressions, and the gestures and bodily movement used. Verbal and non-verbal dimensions must be used together to clearly impart the message. A misunderstanding may happen when words contradict actions. He or she may say yes, but the facial expression says no. To illustrate further, a politician may say that he is a man of the people but then refuses to shake hands with them. In this dimension, it is important that what is shown or done agrees with what is said. Otherwise, the listener will be confused and miscommunication will occur. Oral and written dimensions. These mean spoken communication and the transcription of thoughts and ideas. While the verbal dimension talks of the use of language and the use of words to convey a written message, the oral dimension imparts the message following the principles of delivery. The written dimension takes care of putting down the words, while the oral dimension takes care of delivering those words. Formal and informal dimensions. These speak of the factors that may or may not highlight traditional and conventional communication. The formal dimension usually means the meticulous observation of appropriateness in dress, language, and setting, while the informal dimension is the opposite. That is, it uses a more casual approach with no regard for the formalities. Intentional and unintentional dimensions. These rely on the fact that messages always have a purpose. There is an intention when people communicate with others. In fact, this intention is why we want to communicate in the first place. One wants to say something, but what one may intend may not be the actual result. Sometimes people laugh at something that was said, even if the speaker meant it to be taken seriously. It must be remembered that every message has an unintended meaning. In fact, the speaker may not even be aware of it. The speaker only finds out after, when the listener reacts by saying that the speaker has been discourteous, dishonest, or has hurt the listener's feelings, or when the listener claps or laughs when the speaker did not expect their reaction. That will be all for Module 2, Lesson 1. Thank you for listening.